Welcome, gender conscious friends. I'm your host, Faight. My pronouns are they, he, she, and I'm so glad the simulation brought you here today. This is Our Lives, Gender Included, where I and another gender conscious friend talk about things found in everyday life and how gender, if at all, affects those topics. This episode's topic is secrets, but before I intro our guest, I gotta get the important stuff out of the way. First, thanks to all of the listeners and everyone who helps make this podcast possible, including our very first financial supporter on Anchor, Danielle M. Thank you so much, Danielle, for helping keep this podcast going. Also, if at all possible, please rate and review this podcast if the platform you're using so supports it. It's really helpful for podcasts to help them get seen and get more ads, which I have reached the above 50 required listeners to be able to get ads soon, which is super exciting. Also, if you're into the social media thing, all of my social media links will be on my website, lyricallyfaight.wixsite.com/faitesay, which will also be in the description of this episode. It has all of my social links, like my TikTok, which I use a lot, my Insta, which I use a little bit more than I used to, I guess, my Twitter, which I don't really use that much, but I did make my own tweet, so my YouTube, which I am trying to get into using more, the link to this podcast if you'd like to share it with someone, the link to a wish list if you'd like to get me a present, the link to Patreon if you would like bonus content in exchange for financial support, and also now a Redbubble link where you can buy my art on different clothing and hats and cups and other items like that. And with that, on to the episode. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so this is our gender conscious friend, Divinity. So to start off, I just want you to tell us about your gender journey, kind of like how you got to where you are right now.
Right. So I grew up in the South, deep in Texas. So as you might expect, that kind of paints my journey a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I was a cis heterosexual Christian conservative boy until I was 21. I am no longer any of those things. So
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So huge revelation for me. So basically, obviously, there were things that were very clear about my existence all through the rest of my life. I just didn't know if that's what that was supposed to be. I didn't know there were other options for me.
Yeah.
And then I got to college and just started seeing all of these people who were just living their lives authentically. And at a certain point, I was like, well, so minor digression. I had to figure out my sexuality before I could figure out my gender, because sexuality was more deeply ingrained in what I was doing on a day-to-day. And so at a certain point, I was just like, you know what? I don't think there's any way you can say that me being attracted to, at the time, other boys, because that was the thing that was hard for me, is in any way comparable to any person who is addicted to like alcohol or whatever. Like, that's fine. It's totally bad. Like, not bad, but it's totally okay to like have those situations and be in those situations, and that they're not good. But there's no way me being attracted to someone of the same gender is the same as that. And so that was kind of like my detachment from the Christian church. And that allowed me to start looking at everything else that was out there. So I came out as bisexual. And then about a year or so later, I got involved with this group on my school campus. They're called the Swashbucklers. It's a really fun name for a group of people. They're really great people. you picked the name because it was the alcohol-free dorm on campus, and they thought it was really ironic to be called swashbucklers if they were alcohol-free. But they were also all incredibly queer people. And so I just ended up surrounding myself with incredibly queer people who accepted me for exactly who I was and asked no questions at all. And so I ended up in that time coming out as gender fluid. And it was really fun because the swashbucklers, like we had multiple members who were gender fluid. And so we had a whiteboard in the lounge of the hall that had the pronoun of the day. So all the gender fluid people could just write down whatever pronoun they wanted on the board. And they would just like adapt. Everyone in the room would just immediately adapt to whatever you had on there. It was
awesome.
Really cute. Yeah. I miss them a lot since I've graduated. Then after being gender fluid for a year-ish, I started realizing that I was only keeping, because I was gender fluid as a he, she, then she, he, and then she, he, they, then she, they, he. And then eventually I realized I was only keeping the he because I felt like I was supposed to. And so I dropped that one too. And so now I'm just she, they, and not gender fluid, but just like interchangeable. And further kind of expanded the actual label for my identity by looking at TikTok, where I don't know if you know Nonstop Coal Pop.
It sounds familiar.
They're a very popular trans creator, and they came out like kind of shortly before I got really invested into TikTok. And so I kind of saw a little bit of that coming out story for them, and the way that they would label themselves is trans femme, not like a trans woman, but trans femme.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know who that is. Okay.
And I kind of use that for myself because I feel like I am woman adjacent, but I would not say I am a woman. And so like being called like trans women, that always never felt right.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of like nestled into this trans femme situation, which is non-binary by technicality, but also I don't usually use the word non-binary to describe myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you know, the whole gender thing.
Yeah. So this episode's topic is secrets. So you don't have to tell any secrets if you don't want to, but I'm probably going to, even though I don't have that many.
Yeah, so in the 5th grade, I
think the only secret really that like, because I'm not very good at secrets, I usually end up telling at least one person or somebody else, you know? The only secret I'm really keeping right now is kind of like my gender, I guess, and like pretty much everybody but like my family knows. So like that's kind of like my biggest one, I guess, right now. Like I keep the she just so that way like if they find out, it's not like they don't have to feel weird about it. But, like I'm just probably never gonna tell them. So
yeah, that's fair. I think it's really fun for secrets because basically every aspect of my identity is or has been a secret from my family for a very long time. I came out to them as bisexual a year and a half or so ago. And that is the only aspect of my identity that they know has changed. And those like 4 labels I used earlier, they only know of one of them that's changed. I think they probably suspect I'm not conservative anymore. But I've never actually like sat down to talk with them about it. But whenever I came out to them as bisexual, my mother cried every time she saw me for a month.
Oh no.
And so I've decided I'm not going to tell the other secrets anymore.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, especially, oh man, I'm trying not to get into too much trauma because a lot of my like the secret keeping is tied to my traumas.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very bad relationship with materiality because there were multiple times
What do you mean by
in
that?
well, like there were multiple times in my childhood where my parents would just get rid of material things that I thought were mine.
Mm.
And so I am very bad about that kind of thing.
Like
I
keeping materials or getting rid of them?
I'm very bad about both actually because I don't like getting things because they don't mean anything to me because like people just get rid of my stuff. And then
Mm-hmm.
also like I form really deep attachments to things. And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
really bad about getting rid of them because, I never know when they're just going to disappear. Um, and so because of that, because my parents would just like get rid of my stuff, because they felt like I didn't use it, even though I did,
Mm-hmm.
I started keeping secrets from a very, very early age.
Mm-hmm.
And then that built out into when I started like studying witchcraft, because that's a thing that I've looked into. I hid everything. There was nothing that they could find anywhere. Um, I recently got kicked out of my house, which is its own thing. I'm not going to get into it. But in doing so, I left some of that stuff there, and
Oh
my mom
no.
ended up finding it. And that's how long it took her to figure out that that was the thing I was looking into because I keep these secrets from people,
Yeah.
especially them. Um, oh, but I would like look into like other spiritual and like witchy people who
Mm-hmm.
were talking about how to develop your practice in secret.
Mm-hmm. In the broom
And
closet.
yeah, exactly. And like none of the ways that they described made any sense
Mm-hmm.
for me because they would always be like, oh, well, just like your parents would just think you're getting little knickknacks and stuff, and mine would not. They would
Mm-hmm.
not assume that
Yeah.
because they're Christians in the South.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like even the whole like hiding things away, like the what they call like the closet altar, like the mobile altar.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I even took a very long time to even start making one of those
Mm-hmm.
because I had like a few things that were like not quite witchy but not quite Christian either. Just kind of like sitting around the room, and I would make sure that every time my parents came in, they wouldn't see them,
Mm-hmm.
and they wouldn't notice things. And so after I was confident that they weren't like going through my anything in my room,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I started making my altar.
Yeah.
Um, so I've developed the art of keeping secrets from very specific people for a very long time. Um, anyway,
Yeah. I'm not very good at keeping secrets. It's
Mhm.
because I like to talk. And only to like certain people, but like it always ends up not being a secret, at least to somebody. Um, like specifically like my sister or like my best friend or like my boyfriend. Like I always am telling somebody. I can't
Mhm.
not. But like I get like keeping secrets like from my family because like I remember when I first started high school, I went to an early college high school and
Mhm.
it was horrible. I was the only person from my middle school who went, so I didn't have any friends. And I was like
Mhm.
trying to make friends. So I would skip tutoring to go hang out with like these other girls who were hanging out with like their cousins who were in the older grade or whatever.
Mhm.
And like, I'm like, again, not very good at keeping secrets. So like I don't know how to like tell the teacher like why I'm not coming to tutoring. So of course then he tells my parents and they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, yeah. Like I don't know how to like keep that going, you know?
Mhm.
It's just very difficult. I don't know what's going on in my brain that makes it very hard.
Yeah, I did a lot of not a lot, but I did some research on secret keeping and
Mm-hmm.
how to make your like lies believable and stuff when I
Oh,
was in like high
really?
school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I, even though I never came out as I didn't come out as bisexual until I was in like my 20s. I was doing bisexual things way before that. And just decided that that didn't mean that I was gay. Like it was fine. And so I would find ways to lie to my parents and keep a secret that I was going to meet with a boy. So I would like contact different friends. I had different safety friends. And I'd be like, hey, I'm going to your house tonight. And I wasn't, obviously. Like I didn't do that. But that if my parents ask, that's where I am. Because by that point, they weren't the kind who would call, which is the important thing. So if they're just going to text and say like, hey, is so-and-so here? Like my friends would be like, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely they are. Yeah, I developed a whole network of those so that I wouldn't be at the same person's house every time.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. And
I can't imagine that.
I always keep a little nugget of truth in everything I say. If every lie I tell, there's always something that's kind of true. So I would be like, I'm trying to think of a good example.
Like I'm going to the movies with Marissa, but you're going to the movies with somebody else. So like,
yeah,
technically
exactly.
You're at the movies.
Exactly. Like I'm telling you, I did tell you what I was doing. I just lied about who I was with. Like that's exactly what it was.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I do remember a lot of people trusted me with their secrets in like high school and stuff because I was the shy kid. I didn't talk to anyone, so people just kind of talked at me.
Yeah, a lot of people told me a lot of secrets, but I think it's because I knew I wouldn't remember them. Because I don't.
Does help.
I don't remember any of them.
I remember some really bad secrets. I don't know if they're even secrets, but they're things that I would want to keep secret from most of the people in my high school.
Yeah.
Because there's this one kid who, I'm not going to go into details because it would traumatize me. But there's this one kid in my high school who I was like his only friend because my friend group was like the collected ones, the ones who didn't have other people. They ended up in my friend group.
Yeah, the like weird people who just went in every group.
Yeah, exactly. And he, for some reason, thought it was a really good idea to tell me that he was having sexual dreams about me and some other person in the class with regard to him. Where we were all invested in something. And it was not a good thing. It was not a good thing at all. He gave me details and they were not good details. So I still remember them. So I have that in my brain. And that is a secret I will keep until the day I die.
You know, I can like remember people being like, thanks for letting me tell you that. But I can't remember what any of those things are. And like, I didn't have a lot of friends. I had like I was like hanging out with different people in like different classes, just whoever would talk to me or whatever. And then I had like my couple friends. And then like my friends' friends would sometimes talk to me, but like we weren't close. But like if they told me secrets, what if they thought we were closer than we actually were? I'm like realizing maybe I've dropped a lot more friends than I actually did.
Oh, no.
Like they like told me about the one time they killed their dog or something and I just don't remember it. Like, do you think that like you keep more or less secrets now that like you figured out your gender?
That is really interesting, actually. I feel like it probably is overall less, but it feels like more, I think, because I'm not keeping as many. But I am, even though I like know my gender identity, I do still live in the South. And so that is like a struggle with every person you meet. You never know how they're going to be. Like they might be totally chill and they might be transphobic and not harmful, or they could be transphobic and harmful. So
yeah, I live in Ohio, so definitely understand.
Yeah. So it's like, it's not like it's more secrets in number, but it is a bigger secret now that I am more confident in who I am and more confidently myself And so to any case where I have to like keep that a secret feels bigger.
Yeah. I think I kept secrets from myself a lot before I like decided what my gender was. Like I was like doing a lot of things that were very much like egg moments, and I should have figured it out and should have been like, no, like this is what's happening. But I kept being like, no.
Yeah.
Like so close to the point and missing it. And I was just like, no, definitely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah. It took me I didn't end up coming out for like fully until after I took a class called Poetry and Gender. Cis people don't take that class.
Yeah.
And I did. And I didn't realize that I wasn't cis until after that.
Yeah. One of my like big things, like when I got like on TikTok and was like seeing a bunch of like trans people, I was just like, oh, you know, it's just because like I'm queer and I'm like friends with a bunch of queer people. That makes sense. And then it was like, cis people don't question their gender. And I was like, hold on. No, wait, am I?
Yeah, that was what finally did it for me too.
I was like, this is okay. Okay. But I guess in regards to like my queer identity, probably I keep more secrets because I'm not telling my family about my gender, but they already know that I'm bisexual, or at least most of them do. Most of my family, I'm pretty sure, are bisexual. So like they just like saw my porn searches from when I was like 11 and were like, are you a lesbian? And I was like, no, I like both. And they were like, cool. And then we just never ever talked about it again, except for every once in a while my grandma likes to bring up how it's such a good thing that I'm with my boyfriend because now I don't have to go to hell.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Just every once in a while. Just it's a lovely thing from her. But like mostly my family doesn't talk about it and they don't really care. They've always said that like, no boys with the door closed or girls, whatever is going on. I don't know. I don't care. But, like they just don't care about that. But like I've like heard them say some things about gender before where I'm like, yeah, I'm probably gonna keep that to myself. This is probably one of them secrets I'm gonna keep. Especially it's gonna be really funny because if I don't tell them before I start tea, I don't know what I'm gonna tell them.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be like, what are you talking about? I've always been this hairy.
That's gaslight your parents. Do it. Gaslight your family. Listeners, gaslight your family when you start doing hormones. I've always been this way. Nothing has changed. What are you talking about? You sound crazy right now.
Exactly.
I'm absolutely going to be doing that if I start tea before I end up going home to get the rest of my things. But we'll see. I might not even do that.
Who knows?
Who knows?
It's a mystery. Even I don't know. I think I've been told a lot more secrets though. When I presented more female, I think it's just like you look like a safe person to tell secrets to. And like now that I look like a tiny little black dude, people are like, no. No.
Oh no.
They're like, I'm gonna keep my secrets with me, which is ridiculous because number one, you can always tell a black person your secrets. They're never gonna tell the cops. Why would they go to the cops?
Yeah, absolutely.
They would never.
Realistically, no one should. But
yeah, realistically, in an ideal world, the cops would not be what they are. So it would matter. But I don't know. But I guess it's kind of like gender affirming. But like, scary little black dude, and I'm like, ooh, yeah. Don't tell me your secrets.
It's like the one vine of the guy running shirtless, like, I'm gonna steal all your stuff.
Oh gosh.
Obviously you're not actually going to, but it's like, let them think it. Let them be afraid.
I mean, if you want to think that was
take the power they give you.
Exactly. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm having a brain fart. I'm just thinking about vines.
I'm sorry. 70% of my personality is quoting other things. And so I'm
Same.
surprised it took so long for me to do that.
Same. But like usually it's like songs from Glee. I have a problem. I'm sorry. But when you said vines, all I could think of that girl who's like, look at all those chickens. And that's my favorite vine ever. Like I quote it all the time for no reason. Like I love that one.
Because I live in Texas and we have terrible roads, I get to do the road work ahead one a lot.
Oh yes. There's always construction happening in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best. And then whenever the sign doesn't say like road work ahead, then I can do the other video that's like a TikTok now where it was like, that's not the meme. And just add a sign. It's my favorite.
I've never heard that one.
Somebody was like doing one of those videos where like it started to be a road sign and then you got close enough to see the words and then it goes, that's not the meme. And I'm like, yep. And I just do that all the time.
That's very good.
Oh man. So do you think like you'll always have to keep secrets, or do you think maybe one day there'll be a time where you don't have to keep any?
I think in an ideal world, I don't think anyone would have to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't foresee that being our lifetime. I don't think so. I think I will, and even aside from, even if it becomes safe enough to do so, I think some of my secrets are so deep rooted at this point. I don't know that I even realize that I'm keeping it secret. I just don't tell people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I will be keeping secrets forever.
I don't know. I think other than my gender thing, I still suck at keeping secrets. Like either I forget them or I just tell my own secrets immediately. Like I can't.
Mm-hmm. I do also have the problem where I am most likely autistic and very likely ADD because it's hereditary and my brother has it, so I probably also do.
Same.
But I've never actually gotten a diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was a good kid in school, so they didn't never get me tested.
Yep.
But because of that, I sometimes accidentally share secrets because I'm like sharing like traumatic secrets with people and don't even realize I'm doing it until like halfway through. Like, that they're making a really weird face right now. I probably shouldn't have told them this.
Yeah. Okay, now that you said that, because like I don't like people make faces at me all the time. I just ignore them now. I'm like, yeah. Everybody makes faces when I talk, whatever.
Yeah.
But the faces might be like, why are they telling me this? So maybe I should be like, keeping more secrets.
Yeah, people will be like, wow, you're so brave. You're so honest. Like, no, I didn't mean to tell you that. It just came out.
Yeah, like I just can't keep secrets. I don't. I just tell people stuff.
I'm simultaneously very good at keeping secrets and also so bad at it.
I'm so bad. But also like I don't mind telling people stuff, especially like if I like them. Like my best work friend, like whenever we have a shift together, literally it's just us in the kitchen, just like back and forth, just like little joke trauma dumping. Just like and like people will come in and like bring in dishes and like come get food and stuff, and they're like, what are you guys talking about? Like, we're just talking. We're just talking. But I love working with him. It's so great. The one manager, she's always like, you guys always sound like you're having so much fun back here. And then I come back here and it sounds so sad. I'm like, yep, exactly.
The best friendships are the ones where you're just constantly trauma dumping at each other and laughing about it because humor is how I cope.
Yeah. I suck at secrets, damn. I'm like, we're going to talk about secrets. I don't have any secrets. Why did I do this? I'm sorry.
I feel like I probably have more than I realize because I compartmentalize all of my thoughts. And so people will say things and like one of them will just jump out at me like, hey, this is a thing you know. Don't say it though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My brain associating things that people say with this other things are just, it's too much. I think maybe that could be a secret I keep because I don't tell people all the weird things my brain associates with. But like, like every time somebody says something that sounds like a lyric, I'm like, that's a Glee song. That's a Glee song. Like, I'm not going to tell them that's a Glee song. They don't need to know that's a Glee song. They're not going to watch Glee. That doesn't matter. It's fine. One of my sins as a queer is watching Glee. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was the only gay show on when I was young. I loved it. I'm sorry. Oh man, that show is horrible.
I've never seen it, so.
Oh no. Don't see it. Don't see it. It's basically this show about like a high school, like it's like a choir, but like with dancing. So it's called a Glee Club. And it's based in Ohio, which is why I loved it. I was like, oh my God, Ohio.
The representation.
It's definitely crazy shit that would happen in Ohio. Basically, it's like this Glee Club is like, it's like schools. They're like, we don't care about the arts. So like they're about to get rid of the Glee Club until the Spanish teacher is like, I used to be in the Glee Club when I was in high school. I'm going to save it. And he goes to be the Glee Club instructor or whatever. And there's only like 5 people to start out because nobody gives a shit about the Glee Club until the teacher tricks one of the football players into joining, and then a bunch of people start to join after that. He puts pot in his locker, okay? And he's like, I found this in your locker. You could go to jail or you could join the Glee Club. Like, in what world would that be a thing? But of course he was like, oh my God, okay, yeah, I'll join the Glee Club. Like, sorry.
I mean, singing has been my whole life forever. I just didn't do it.
Yeah, like, so then a bunch of people joined after him, and it's just like, it's like if High School Musical was episodic, I guess. Like they just like sing songs, but they're not like their own songs. They're covers. They're singing covers every episode for different things. So like the one episode, the girl like is hitting on this guy who's clearly gay, and her gaydar is so broken that she does not understand. Like she's like going shopping for Jimmy Choos with him, and she just like doesn't get it. She's like, yeah, he really loves me. We go shopping all the time. And her friends are like,
yeah, he loves you, girl.
But when she finally asks him out, he's like, sorry, I'm in love with someone else, and like lists some random girl. And so she throws a rock into his car window and then proceeds to sing the song Bust Your Windows. If it was not so on the nose. Yeah. But like that's basically all of the show. They just like sing songs right after they do something dramatic.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And it's so horrible. It like the like
guilty pleasure.
Yes. the like gay couples are like so ridiculous, but also the straight couples are so ridiculous, so I'm fine with it. But like it's horrible representation. They should not have done that. And also there's a guy who like he's not actually in real life disabled and is just like rolling around in a wheelchair, and the Spanish teacher is like a little bit racist, and like yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yikes.
It's so bad. I'm like, this show is horrible, but also this is what would happen in Ohio. This is true. So do you have like a significant other or a partner?
I do, actually.
Do you keep a lot of secrets from them?
No, I tell them everything. They probably know more about me than they would like to.
I think I eventually tell my boyfriend everything. But like if I know he's gonna be a little shocked about it, I try to like ease him into it.
Yeah, I'll be talking to my darling a lot of the time and just be like, hey, so do you have like the mental capacity to handle more things?
Where's your spoons at today?
Yeah,
because I have some trauma I would like to dump.
Yeah, it's fun. We do it to each other. It's great.
Yeah,
that's how you know it's real love. I
like even with my gender, I try to like drop hints just like his brain's in the right mindset first before I just like drop the bomb. That way he's not like completely shocked.
Yeah.
Like even like traumatic stuff that happened, I was like, have you heard of this thing? Do you know about this thing?
Yeah.
Hey, guess what happened to me one time? You know? Like I'm like,
yeah. I am really lucky that I don't have to do a lot of the gender thing because I am in a T for T. Which is so good. It's so good. Yeah. Saves me a little bit of stress.
Yeah. It's probably definitely a lot easier explaining your gender.
Yeah. We've had a lot of very lengthy conversations about gender.
Yeah.
Both ways.
Yeah. It's funny because like I had like one lengthy conversation about my gender, like when I came out to him. And he was like, okay. I think I got it. And then like little tiny ones here and there to be like, hey, just reminding you, like gender. He's like, yeah, no, I got it. I'm like, but I want to talk about it.
Yeah, gender conversations are so fulfilling.
Yeah. I remember one time I asked him about his gender, and it was funny because the way that he described his gender was the way that I described my gender before I came out. And I'm just like, interesting.
Very interesting.
I'm like, that sounds,
an egg.
Yeah, I'm like, that sounds a lot like me before. And he was like, no, I just don't really think about it. It's just not a thing to me. And I'm like, okay.
Do you not think about it or do you avoid thinking about it? That's the question.
I was like, okay.
Does he listen to your podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna.
He already knows. No. He already knows. I'm like, but that's like exactly how I thought before. And he's like, no, I just don't think about it. I'm like, okay, but like, okay.
Hey, we're all on your side, dude. Whenever you decide, if you ever come to that conclusion, we are all here for you.
Okay, so before we go, I have 2 queer themed games for you.
Spicy.
So the first one is, does this give you gender envy? So I'm going to list 3 random things, and you're going to tell me yes or no, and explain if you want to, if these things give you gender envy.
Got it.
So the first one is drawstring backpacks.
I heard you do this on the first one, and I was so ready on every one of those, and this one I have to think about. Yes.
Okay. That's funny. This is actually like my wild, probably nobody's gonna know this one, but like, okay.
I think, I don't know, like I used to hate them growing up because they like sit weird, but also like since I started carrying a purse, I feel like drawstring kind of is like easy purse, you know?
Yeah. Like the purse backpack.
Yeah.
Okay, so the second one is crows.
Yes, immediately. Yes.
I feel like crows is everybody's gender, no matter what your gender is.
Exactly.
Everybody relates to crows.
I have been wanting to say this for so long. First of all, my gender is hag. Second of all, I put one of my show as The Good Place. And one of my favorite things that I quote every single time, it's not crows, but the episode where Chidi is matched with that one goth person, and they're like, I must away and tend to my ravens. That is my aesthetic. That's what I want to be.
That's awesome. Okay, and then my third one is stained glass windows.
No.
Okay.
Stained glass windows remind me too much of like Christianity, and that is an immediate no for me in any regard.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm thinking of like the little kid ones that like you make it like from the dollar store.
Yeah, I do have those too, but still, I like that still connects me to like the little boy who made them. So I don't know that I don't, not gender envy, not necessarily fully negative, but not gender envy.
Yeah. Okay, and then the second game is a new one. Ooh. Called How Would You Make This Movie Queer?
Oh no.
So the first movie that you have to make gay is The Matrix.
Oh heck. I mean, it's already based on like trans narrative stuff. So I think all it would be is the pills, instead of being like reality or whatever. What it is it either makes you trans masc or trans femme. It doesn't matter what you were before. You just get to choose which version of trans you are.
That's great. Okay, and then the second movie is Mean Girls.
So like, hot take, I actually hated Mean Girls. Let's see, how would I make Mean Girls gay? I think who was the teacher lady? Reese Witherspoon. That's her name. Whoever Reese Witherspoon plays.
Reese Witherspoon. Wait, hold on.
Is that her name?
No,
I don't
Tina
know
Fey.
actresses. Tina Fey.
I was like, wait, what?
I don't know people's names.
I thought you meant her character name. I was trying to think. I can't remember her character name.
Whoever the teacher was, get rid of her. Put in a gay dude and have him in a relationship with the principal. And that's why everything changes at the school.
Okay. I don't exactly see it, but okay.
I don't like Tina Fey, so I just wanted her out. That's my MO.
If Tina Fey made the movie, you were just like, I hate it.
Yeah, I know. I hate
the whole thing, and I hate her.
Yeah. I think she is too set on making herself a superhero, and I don't like it.
All right.
She's also problematic in other ways, but that's that's not
the point. But
that's not the only reason I don't like it.
Okay, so do you have anything that you would like to promote?
I do, actually. I'm used to saying no in this situation and almost said it instinctively. I have a tiny little Instagram. I have like 40, not even 40 followers, I think. But I post trans joy every now and then, a cute little outfit. And then
what's the at for your Instagram?
The at is D, the letter, Vine Summer.
Okay.
So like Divine Summer, but minus the I. And then it's linked in my Insta, but I also will potentially be linked in this podcast as well.
In the description, yeah.
Yeah. I also started a GoFundMe page because living in Texas is getting scarier every day. And so my goal has been for the past couple years to leave Texas, and I have a destination as of the last like 6 months. I just need to be able to afford to get there.
Yes.
So if anybody, literally anything you can give is would literally mean the world to me. So I'm not expecting anything. I have a number on there. It is a ballpark goal. I don't care. Anything would help. So that's my thing.
Thank you so much for joining me.
I had such a good time.
I had such a great time too. Okay, bye. Thank you again to Divinity for joining me on the topic of secrets. Our Lives, Gender Included is created by Faight Say, hosted by Faight Say, edited by Faight Say, and produced by Faight Say, and now partially financially supported by Danielle M. To access my socials, you can go to my website, lyricallyfaight.wixsite.com/faightsay. The link will be in the description, and you'll find links to all of my socials I have. And also, if you click on the support page on my website, you can support me financially via a one-time donation on my PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. Or you can subscribe to Anchor to support this podcast, or you can pledge to my Patreon at the various tiers I offer for different benefits. And now, you can also click the Redbubble link and buy my art on various items. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of your day in the simulation.